So it'll
try to plug the hole with the fullback.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Yorktown. They'll send a man in motion on the fake the jet sweep and give to Evans again. Tries the left side this time and again. Great penetration from the Dragons, and they drop him for a 3-yard loss. Richard Clevenger, the linebacker, came slicing in to bring Evans down. That'll bring up 3rd down and 14. So after Evans carried for a 1st down on the first 2 plays, the Dragons have been able to get penetration twice and drop him for a loss.
Yeah, David DeGuzman's at it already. He's making his presence known. Last week he had a huge game for the Dragons defensively.
New Palestine leads it 7-0. It's 3rd down and 14 for Yorktown from its own 37-yard line. And the left tackle moved. And so that'll back him up 5 more yards. Jackson New over there just got a little bit too antsy. And so it'll be 3rd down and 19 now for Yorktown. All the way back at the 32-yard line. And now we
must have an issue with the clock.
7:38 to go. First quarter, Dragons with a 7-0 lead. Grayson Thomas's touchdown run on the first possession of the game. The Dragons motored it right down the field. 5 plays, 60 yards. Grayson carried for the last 8. And carried for 4 of those 60. So Yorktown will face 3rd down and 19 from its own 32-yard line after 2 lost yardage plays and a false start penalty. The quarterback for Yorktown is Blair Webster, a 5'9", 153-pound sophomore. And the fullback, Jack Stinson, another sophomore. And
look at this.
He and Evans lined up alongside each other in the backfield. The fake to Evans, rolling out is Webster, looking downfield, throws deep downfield, and it is incomplete. Walker Moore was the intended receiver, but it was well played over there by Andrew Tashane for the Dragons. And so Yorktown's first possession stalls, and the Tigers will have to punt.
Yeah, Tashane had position on him and actually knocked the ball away. He might have had a shot at intercepting it, but it was a bit over his head. But in the process, he knocked the ball away from the receiver. Great job. Great pressure by the Dragon defensive line. DeGuzman was blitzing from the right side. The quarterback rolled away from him, but there was a host of Dragons on his tail, that's for sure.
It's going to be 4th down for Yorktown and likely punting time. Walker Moore is their punter. Moore is averaging 38.8 yards a punt.
That's pretty good
this season. And Aiden Ewers is back deep to return this, and Moore gets off a rocket. Ewers will let it go. It bounces inside the 20, inside the 15.
Keep rolling. Get in the end zone.
Rolls. It's not going to make it that far. It's going to die at the 6-yard line.
So 6, yeah, right. You can't see around the corner.
Yeah, 63 yards on Walker Moore's punt. Make that 62.
That'll help the average.
And the Dragons will take over at their own 6-yard line after a really nice punt by Walker Moore.
This kind of reminds me of freshman games. You can hear clearly what the parents are saying out here with so few people in the stands being allowed here in Yorktown. And if you think we sound muffled, that's because we are wearing masks in the booth.
We are being safe and honoring the request of our hosts.
Yep.
And Paul Heidenreich, the outstanding athletic director here at Yorktown, always provides us great hospitality. Dragons come out here on their second possession, leading 7-0. Trips to the right. Roth back to throw. Looking right. Throws an out route, and it is almost picked off.
Woo.
He threw it behind Blake Austin.
That was a walk-in.
It was read well by Colton Nanko. He jumped the route and almost got to that. But take a deep breath. It's incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for the Dragons.
Yeah, when you're running an out pattern like that, the quarterback's got to come up, and that's got to be got on a rope. You know, he kind of put a little air under it and gave the defender time to undercut that route, and it was almost a pick 6. Luckily, he just flat out dropped it.
2nd down for New Palestine. The give to Thomas.
Oh.
He's able to squirt through a hole and get close to the 1st down. He gains 9 on the play to the 15-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Dragons.
3rd and 1 for the Dragons.
Thomas again lines up as the running back. The Dragons will flood the wide side of the field. Blake Austin, the outside receiver, and a trips to the right, 1 receiver left. And Thomas set to Roth's right. Lincoln fakes, keeps himself. He's got the 1st down as he's able to squirt off right guard and tackle following big Luke Burgess over there for a gain of a couple. He needed 1. It's 1st down Dragons to the 17. It's 4th time the Dragons moved the chains already in this game.
Lining up in that 2-back formation again. They've motioned out of it every time. There goes Blake in motion to the right.
Austin will line up as a slot this time in a trips formation to the right after going in motion. Another high snap. Roth is going to have to just run for his life and eat the football. He's dropped back at the 14-yard line. That's a loss of 3 as a high snap. J.J. Evans was the guy who got him. So
yeah, they were setting up a bubble screen to the right side to Blake Austin out there, and the other 2 receivers had run the defenders off. They had something set up, but unfortunately bobbled the high snap and had to eat it.
It'll be 2nd down and 13 for the Dragons from their own 14-yard line. Again, twin backs. This time Roth pitches to Austin on an option play, and the Tigers read it, but Austin breaks a tackle, spins his way forward across the 20-yard line, and carries to the 21. Blake got about 5 or 6 yards after initial contact there, and he was able to turn that into a 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and manageable for the Dragons.
Yeah, Tashane was able to come back and actually pick up a block. He held off on blocking a guy in the back, and after Blake broke that tackle, he was able to pick a block up for him.
3rd and 6. Roth takes the snap. Back
there
to throw.
you
Ball
go.
is caught out in the flat.
There
turning
you go.
upfield, cutting outside and carrying it all the way to the 43-yard line.
Uh-oh.
Is Andrew Tashane, and he's a little slow to get up. It's a gain of 22.
That's not good.
On the catch and run. Roth to Tashane, and Andrew has not gotten up, and he looks like he's in a little bit of pain. And so it's going to be 1st down for New Palestine, but first, all eyes are on Andrew Tashane as the.
And this kid has had trouble staying on the field in the past because of injuries, just getting ready to enjoy what looks like a good senior year here. Hopefully everything will come out fine here.
He had not been able to play high school football at all, hadn't been able to play since middle school, and is able to come out last week, has a huge game in week 1, 3 catches, a touchdown, and there he looks like he was injured on the hit and is being attended to by the training staff. Coach Ralph also out there taking a look at Andrew Tashane. And so we're going to take a break here as the staff takes a look at Andrew. And so 5:13 to go in the first quarter. Dragons lead at 7-0 over Yorktown. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
We are back at Yorktown High School. The New Palestine Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 7-0. Along with Mike Jackson, I'm Andrew Smith. The Dragons 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line after a 22-yard pass to Andrew Tashane, who was able to walk off the field under his own power after being attended to by the training staff.
Oh,
and
nice read.
Lincoln Roth faking to Grayson Thomas. Everybody went to him, but the Tigers did a good job of staying at home and bringing Roth down for a 1-yard gain. He was hit pretty hard by Carson Stevens for a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Dragons from their own 44.
Yeah, the fake was so good that Grayson Thomas got tackled for a 2-yard loss, but he didn't have the football.
Ian Roundabush and Aiden Ewers go wide to the right. One receiver wide left. Austin and Thomas in the backfield on 2nd down and 9, and now they'll send Blake in motion as a slot to the left. And Roth looks left, throws left to Austin, makes the catch, makes a man miss, and carries to the 50-yard line on a bubble screen. It's a gain of 6 on the pass from Roth to Austin, and we'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, we've got to get him the football out there in some space like that. Let him use his speed. That was a bubble screen to the left. They had that bubble screen set up to the right when it was almost picked off. So Lincoln's just got to come out and just fire that football.
Again, twin backs in the backfield on either side of Roth. This time Austin will go in motion to the right to set up trips. One receiver left on 3rd and 3 from midfield. Long count for Lincoln Roth. Yorktown looks like it wants to blitz. That hard count can sometimes keep the defense a little off balance. And Roth will give to Thomas up the middle. Gets a good push from the line. Drives forward. Has the 1st down. He needed 3. He got 4 to the 46. And the Dragons once again move the chains as Grayson Thomas, the freshman, with a 4-yard run on 3rd and 3.
Just another good push by the Dragon offensive line, enabled him to pick the 1st down up with ease.
1st down Dragons from the 46 in Yorktown territory for the 2nd possession in this game. Dragons lead at 7-0. We've got 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Roth takes the snap. Play action.
Oh,
throws
yeah.
over the ball, has an open receiver. It's Ewers down the sideline. Touchdown. Aiden Ewers was wide open on the play action, and Roth found him for a 46-yard touchdown pass, and the Dragons now lead at 13-0.
He was completely wide open, found a hole right there, probably in the zone. Was able to sit down, and Lincoln Roth put the ball right on him.
Aiden Ewers' first touchdown as a Dragon.
Oh, yeah, the transfer from Franklin Central.
Yeah, all-state defensive back for the Flashes last season, and makes a quick impression here at New Palestine. Blake Austin gets the hold down for Tanksley, whose extra point is good. And so, with 3:08 to go in the 1st quarter of play, the New Palestine Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 14-0. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
This is Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
PorkVet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our 2 doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. PorkVet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. PorkVet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
This is Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
3:08.
That is what's on the clock to show what's remaining in the 1st quarter. The New Palestine Dragons with a 14-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers as Lincoln Roth hits Aiden Ewers from 46 yards out to give the Dragons the 2-score lead over the Yorktown Tigers. And that was a 94-yard drive for the Dragons.
Aaron Thomas back to kick for the Dragons. Back to receive Jalen Thomas for the Tigers.
10 plays, took 4 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock. And
Popping it up.
the kickoff from Darren Johnson is fielded. It's a short kickoff. They fake the reverse. Bouncing outside, getting to the corner, trying to shake and bake his way across the 35-yard line is Gibson. And make a Jalen Thomas 27, not 22. And Thomas will be ushered out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's where the Tigers will begin their 2nd possession. They moved the chains briefly on a couple of runs by J.J. Evans, but then went backwards on their first. And so Yorktown will take over. And
it's like a Yorktown kid down here on the sideline, the near sideline.
I think it was a kick returner.
Yep.
And that's Jalen Thomas, the freshman. And he's up. Gets applause from the fans.
As opposed to Grayson Thomas, our freshman.
Yeah. Got a feeling we may see these two guys competing against each other. Thomas versus Thomas in the backfield. Jalen had a 100-yard game in his debut a couple of weeks ago against Anderson for Yorktown. Of course, Grayson Thomas had 115 and a pair of scores for the Dragons last week. And he's got 57 on 5 carries tonight. We'll send a man in motion to Yorktown, and rolling out is Webster, the quarterback. Throwback pass is caught at the 50-yard line into Dragon territory. Nice little misdirection there, and Carter Lovelace, the tight end, makes the catch right at midfield. That's a gain of 15 and a first down for Yorktown.
Took a little while to develop, but as long as you can make that connection. The Dragons bit a little bit on the run and gave them time to get the receiver downfield.
Eye in the backfield, double tights on first down, and a give to Evans. He just drags his way forward across the 50-yard line to the 48 into New Palestine territory. It's a 2-yard gain for J.J. Evans. Nick Bastian, one of the guys in on the tackle. Richard Clevenger and Tyler Prangy also in there. And they gave Evans 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Yorktown. 2:15 to go, first quarter, 14-0 New Palestine. Glad you've joined us on newpalradio.com and also on the YouTube page tonight. I want to thank the Yorktown Athletic Department for allowing us to video stream this evening as well. Got all kinds of movement up front as the Dragons were showing blitz, and I think they maybe got one of the Yorktown linemen a little antsy, and for the second time in as many drives, the Tigers are going to be flagged for a false start. So back them up to their own 48, make it 2nd down and 12. So the quarterback is Blair Webster. He's got an eye in the backfield behind him. Again, double tights with one receiver to the left. Webster throws over the middle. Ball is tipped and bounces to the turf, incomplete. Walker Moore was the intended receiver. He was diving for it after it was tipped in the air, but it falls harmlessly to the turf. It'll be 3rd down and 12 for Yorktown.
Now the Dragons had him bookend with Baylor Hurst and Jack Johnson. So if he had completed it, I mean, it would have been for the first down probably, but he wouldn't have gotten any further than the catch, that's for sure.
3rd and 12 for Yorktown. Again, an eye in the backfield, double tights. One receiver to the left is Gibson. And here's a drop back pass. Gibson makes the catch and is ushered out of bounds at the
42 or 3
yard line. That's going to be short of the first down, however. It's a gain of 9.
They're lining up and going on it right now.
So it's going to be a 4th down for Yorktown. 4th and 3. Split backs. Webster, the quarterback, with a long count. Trying to draw the Dragons offside. Now he looks over to the sideline. Still has 25 seconds to get the play off. And now Mike Wilhelm, coach of the Tigers, is going to take his first timeout. I think they want to get the right play in this situation. Dragons lead at 14-0. 1:38 to go in the opening quarter of play. We'll take a break, come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community in Dragon football. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
Along with Mike Jackson, I'm Andrew Smith back at Yorktown High School. It's 4th down and 3 for the Tigers. New Palestine leads 14-0, 1:38 to go in the opening quarter of play. Aiden Ewers, a 46-yard touchdown reception. Grayson Thomas, an 8-yard touchdown run for New Palestine. Yorktown has moved the ball into Dragon territory, facing fourth down. The quarterback is Blair Webster. He's got an eye in the backfield. Now they'll go into split back. Stinson and Evans behind the quarterback. Again, double tights for Yorktown, one receiver, and now the quarterback false starts. The quarterback was backing out and didn't have the football, and so now Yorktown will send the punt team on after
that's a killer
false start penalty when they were going to go for it on 4th and 3. That's Yorktown's third procedure violation in 2 drives. And
we got a young quarterback there, a sophomore kid, and sometimes varsity football can be a little daunting, especially when you're facing a team like the New Palestine Dragons.
Walker Moore is the punter. Line of scrimmage is the Dragons 48. And the snap is a good one. Good rush. Moore gets off another high punt. Ewers will let it bounce inside the 10, and it rolls into the end zone for a touchback. So 48-yard punt for Moore. And
I got a feeling Coach will come after a couple of those if the way that kid's punting.
The way Coach Ralph described things to me last year was, he said, you can be a punt return team or a punt block team. We are a punt block team, and they are very aggressive.
They do that very well.
Yeah, they're very aggressive in going after the punter. Kind of very reminiscent of the old Frank Beamer Virginia Tech teams and how they really try to make big plays on special teams.
Yep, they count too.
One thing Coach Ralph's teams have always prided themselves on is winning that third phase of the game.
Yep, it's huge. It's huge.
Every time you have a kicking play, you're either going to have a change of field, basically, a chance to flip the field or a chance to score.
Coach Armstrong always had the starburst play that he'd like to throw in every once in a while. That was always fun to watch.
Dragons will set up twins to the left. Roth, a little misdirection toss to Grayson Thomas. Make that Blake Austin. He turns upfield and carries across the 25-yard line to the 27. It's a 7-yard gain for Blake Austin.
Yeah, that's something I don't think we've seen out of the Dragon offense. A fake pitch to the right side of the formation and come back and pitch to the left.
With the 2-back sets, you're seeing a lot more misdirection type plays from this offense than we've seen in the past. Roth rolls out, throws for Austin, and he airmailed him. Looked like Austin maybe ran an in route, whereas Roth threw a deeper pattern, and he was well covered as well by Colton Nanko. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Dragons.
Yeah, Lincoln he needs to settle in here a little bit, get his feet planted. Make sure he's driving that ball.
Trips to the right. The inside receiver is an H-back. Here's the give to Thomas, and he's not going to get there. He just got stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Good job by the interior of the Yorktown defensive line.
Thomas on the carry, stop at the line of scrimmage.
And so it'll be
42,
4th down. J.J. Evans was in there on the stop for Yorktown. And so the Dragons will have to punt.
Yeah, the offensive line just never got on their blocks and get to the second level to help him to get there, and it was actually just stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Matthew Brown is the punter. Alex Gibson back deep at his own 40-yard line to receive this. The line of scrimmage is the 27. Brown averaging 32 yards a kick. Got a good rush on this one. Brown gets off a high short punt.
Oh, good bounce.
Takes a big drag and roll across the 50 down into Yorktown territory at the 42-yard line.
Ball will be touched at the 41-yard line where the Tigers take over on offense.
It's a 32-yard punt for Brown with no return. Yorktown takes over with 5 seconds to go in the first quarter, trailing New Palestine 14-0. So they marked it down at the 41. So that's where the Tigers will begin. Good field position for Yorktown. And so
the Dragons weren't really able to flip the field that time. Yorktown comes out with pretty good field position here in the 41.
So the quarterback, Blair Webster, has twin backs behind him, and he'll give to Evans, and he's buried for a loss. Slicing in was Luke Burgess. Make that Jack Stinson, the fullback, had the carry. Luke Burgess drops him for a 2-yard loss back at the 39-yard line. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The New Palestine Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 14-0. 12 minutes are in the books here at Yorktown High School. We'll take a break, come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPowerRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Along with Mike Jackson, I'm Andrew Smith as we get set to begin second quarter action from Yorktown. The New Palestine Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 14-0. Lincoln Roth 3 for 5 passing for 79 yards, including 46 to Aiden Ewers and a touchdown. Grayson Thomas has 57 rushing yards on 6 carries, including an 8-yard touchdown run. And those are the scores so far. The Dragons scoring in their first 2 possessions. Yorktown on its third, facing second down at 12 as we begin second quarter play.
Well, the Dragon defense have done a nice job so far. They have given up, several yards in passing, but the run defense, and now we're loading up. We've got David Guzman faking the blitz.
Eye in the backfield. Webster back to throw. Fires. Picked off. Intercepted by the Dragons, coming down the sideline inside the 25. Still breaking a tackle, breaking free, and scoring a touchdown is
Hunter Burks.
Hunter Burks for the Dragons. And that's a touchdown for the Dragons, and it is now 20-0.
Wow. May have to put him in the offensive backfield.
Yeah.
It was a great run after the
tackles
catch.
After that, so.
I thought he was going to get stripped of the football, but he had that thing tucked tight, was able to spin, break out of a couple of tackles.
Dating back to last year, that is the 4th consecutive game with an interception return for a touchdown for the Dragons. Matthew Brown had one last week. Of course, Riker Large with the big one of the state championship game. As Tanksley's extra point is good.
The score is 21-0.
So the Dragons with a 21-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. 11:48 to go in the second quarter. We'll take another break. Come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPowerRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com. D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Now, back to the action on NewPalRadio.com.
Jack Johnson on to kick off as the Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 21-0 after a 45-yard interception return by Hunter Burks.
Out of bounds. Flag on the play.
And so Yorktown will take over at its own 35-yard line after the kickoff goes out of bounds.
Ball will be placed on the 35-yard line.
So
Tigers take over on offense.
on that interception return by Hunter Burks, he was impressive. Looked like a running back and shaking and baking his way down the field. So Yorktown will take over here its 4th possession at its own 35-yard line. Eye in the backfield. Webster back to throw. Here comes a rush. He throws a little high, but it's reeled in. And no, it was incomplete. As going up the elevator shaft was Alex Gibson over on the far side. And
Aiden Ewers was there to break it up.
And well defended by Ewers after Gibson looked like he went up and grabbed it, but Ewers was able to break it up. Ewers getting a chance to play a lot. Two-way starter. You don't get that opportunity in 6A, and so very often, but all-state defensive back last year. He's got a touchdown catch tonight. Led the state in pass breakups last year. You saw why there. He's got another one. Here's a toss to J.J. Evans. Turns upfield, cuts back across the 40. He's close to a first down. He's going to be a yard or two short. The 44-yard line, a 9-yard gain for J.J. Evans. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Yorktown, and you can see J.J. Evans, he's a load to bring down, but he moves really well in the open field. A 6'5", 210-pound senior.
Yeah, he's just real smooth, extremely smooth, kind of Eric Dickerson-like.
Pretty high praise.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. His running style is very similar.
Very big, long strides, and he's a tall kid.
Stinson in front of Evans in the eye on 3rd down and 1. They'll send Gibson across the formation in motion. Give to Evans up the middle. He waits for the hole to develop, and he pushes the pile forward for 5 extra yards. Good push by the interior of the Yorktown offensive line. Gets Evans a 5-yard gain and a first down for Yorktown to the 49. Evans now at 25 yards on 7 carries. 10:40 to go second quarter. New Palestine leads at 21-0. Blair Webster, the quarterback, again has an eye in the backfield with Stinson, the fullback, in front of Evans. Toss, sweep to Evans to the right. Good penetration by the Dragons. He gets past the first layer and is able to just drive his legs forward and turn nothing into something and get a 3-yard gain out of that before Baylor Hurst brings him down. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 for Yorktown from the Dragons 48.
I think he carried 4 Dragons with him that time. They had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he just was able to squirt forward, being that big kid, 6'5". I think he just dove for that.
So tight end sets right. Gibson the receiver right, a receiver left as well. Eye in the backfield on 2nd down and 7. Webster back to throw. Over the middle, looking for Walker Moore. It's broken up by Baylor Hurst, and there's a late flag coming in.
What's that for?
That looks like a pretty good pass breakup from Baylor Hurst, and the official way behind the play threw a late flag. I think Yorktown might have gotten a break here.
Well, we'll get to see it right here on the video feed.
Pass interference, New Palestine. And
yeah, that was. Oh, wait a minute. They just they picked it up, I think. Yeah, that was a.
Well,
what's going on?
It looks like they're getting ready to walk it off. So the first penalty on the Dragons on the evening, and so Yorktown will have first down on the Dragons' 33-yard line.
That penalty takes the ball to the
If Baylor got there, he got there about a quarter second early. But whatever the case, it is a first down for Yorktown. Tigers with their deepest penetration of the night on the Dragons' 33-yard line. Eye in the backfield, New Palestine showing blitz. And here is a toss to Evans. Gets an alley on the left side as he cuts across the 30 down to the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 7 for J.J. Evans. So it'll be 2nd down and 3, from the Dragons' 26.
They've been pretty effective running that off-tackle toss sweep kind of play.
Let's let Evans find the hole and get him wide of that very aggressive interior of the Dragon defense. 9:12 to go. Second quarter, Dragons with a 21-0 lead. Yorktown on the move, though. 2nd and 6 from the Dragons' 26. Twins to the right. Webster will send Gibson in motion across the formation. Fake the jet sweep, give to Evans. And he takes it up the middle. He's close to the first down. I think he looks like he's a half a yard short. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 from the 24 for Yorktown.
J.J. Evans on the carry.
Evans now 37 yards on 10 carries.
The Dragons have not been blitzing of late, I don't think. And typically when they start getting beat up front a little bit, coach usually blitzes a little bit more often. Try to get some penetration up front, try to get some, make some kind of a big play. But Yorktown has been able to hold the line of scrimmage for them so far in this drive.
3rd down and 1 from the 24-yard line. Give to Evans, cuts up the middle. He's got the first down as he carries to the 21-yard line. That's a gain of 3 for J.J. Evans. And it's another first down for Yorktown.
They've got something going on this drive, that's for sure.
1st and 10 from the 21, 8:13 to go. Dragons with a 21-0 lead. We're in the second quarter. J.J. Evans now 40 yards on 11 carries. He has been the bulk of their offense. They have 62 total yards. This drive started back at their own 35-yard line.
And the biggest thing is that they haven't made any mistakes on this drive.
Here's a draw play to Evans, and he challenges the middle of the Dragon line and gets about 3 to the 18-yard line.
It just takes 3 helmets at least to have a shot at bringing him down.
Picks up 4 yards.
Like Richard Clevenger was the first guy in on the tackle. 2nd down and 2nd and 7, for Yorktown from the 18. They gave him progress to the 17, so make it 2nd and 6. Gibson will go as the receiver to the left, and now he's going to come in tight as Yorktown basically stacks 2 tight ends and lines Gibson up as an H-back. Webster on a bootleg. Throws, heavy pressure. Evans drops the pass. He was trying to catch a screen. Little bootleg screen action, and Evans was trying to reel it in at the 20-yard line, and I think he just took his eyes off of it. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Yorktown from the 17.
And a lot of pressure by 2 Dragon interior linemen, which they're supposed to do. Their offensive line's supposed to let the defensive lineman charge. They need to do a better job of feeling that and understanding that, hey, he's taking a deep drop. It was way too easy for me to penetrate up here. There's probably a screen coming.
3rd down and a long 6 for Yorktown from the Dragon 17. Twins to the right, eye in the backfield. Behind Blair Webster, the quarterback. A long count for him. They'll send Gibson in motion across the formation to the left and give it to him on the jet sweep. He tries to get the corner, doesn't get very much. He got maybe to the 15, and so it'll be 4th down for Yorktown. He'll put it down at the 16. So
Brings up 4th down for the Tigers.
it'll be 4th down and 5 for Yorktown from the 16-yard line of New Palestine. The Tigers 0 for 1 on 4th downs. They were going to go for it, and then a false start penalty forced him to punt earlier.
I've never heard a PA announcer get a team up for an offensive play.
Eye in the backfield on 4th down. Webster back to throw. Throws
left,
got
nice.
it down. Matthew Brown got his paws up and knocked that down, and it's an incomplete pass. The Dragons allow Yorktown to get into the red zone, but unable to convert. They turn it over on downs, and the Dragons will take over at their own 16. 6:16 to go in the second quarter. New Palestine leading it 21-0.
You know, they got away from getting the ball into Evans' hands. They tried on that middle screen, and he dropped it, but drove the field with him quite well. And on that particular series, just kind of went away from what was working for him. The Dragons take advantage.
Now we've got whistle right at the snap, and
Did they call a
timeout has been called.
Yeah, they were out of position. They had a guy running onto the field, an interior lineman no less.
So Yorktown uses its second timeout right before the Dragons snap the ball. 6:16 to go in the second quarter. The New Palestine Dragons leading the Yorktown Tigers 21-0. We'll take a break, come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
And we welcome you back to Yorktown High School's Tiger Stadium. The New Palestine Dragons with a 21-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. The Dragons will take over at their own 16 after the defense holds on downs in the red zone. Yorktown using its second timeout as they weren't quite lined up properly before the snap, and now we're having a little bit of time getting the ball into play. But Lincoln Roth will line up with twin backs in the backfield and twin receivers to the left. Here's a toss to the left coming upfield, and maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage was Grace and Tom, make that Blake Austin. No gain on the play.
No gain.
So it'll be second down and 10 for the Dragons from their own 16. Dragons right back to the line. Thomas is set to Roth's left, trips to the left, ball's in the middle of the field. Roth takes the snap, rolls out to the left, under pressure, throws, and it's caught on an out route by Aiden Ewers. He is a little bit short of the first down marker as he makes the catch going out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It'll be third down and 1 after the 9-yard gain.
That was a nice throw by Lincoln. He had to hit him right on the sideline to keep him in bounds, and now third and short for the Dragons.
So Ewers now a pair of catches for 55. It's third down and 1 from the 25. Roth has Thomas set to his left. Austin's an H-back, make that right. Austin's an H-back right. Quarterback sweep for Roth. Looks for a hole, and he is drilled at the 25-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down.
I'm not sure the Dragons were in the right formation. One of the slot guy on the right side, I think that was Blake Austin, was waving for a slot on the left to come in motion, and that would have given Lincoln an extra blocker on that side.
Carson Stevens came up to make the tackle for no gain. It's 4th and 1. The Dragons leaving the offense out there.
All right, Tiger fans, on your
Coach Ralph rolling the dice here on 4th down. Roth in the shotgun, takes the snap, gives to Thomas, tries the middle, and he's close. We'll see. He didn't get there.
Nope. Well, I mean, that's confidence in your Dragon defense as well, obviously, but you know, coach is trying to get these guys motivated here. Adds confidence in them on a 4th and 1 after being able to run the ball very well early on in the first 2 series. They've struggled here of late.
So the Dragons turn it over on downs on their own 25-yard line. Yorktown with some great field position and a momentum boost after stopping New Palestine on downs. And so Yorktown right back to it. Evans dotting the I. They'll toss it to him, sweep to the right. He tries to get the corner, and he does not. Great job coming up by Hunter Burks to drop Evans for a loss on the play back to the 26-yard line. It'll be second down and 11.
He did a nice job of maintaining his outside position, hitting him with his inside shoulder and getting help from his backside defenders.
Second and 11 for Yorktown from the Dragons' 26-yard line. They'll send a Robbie Hook, the receiver left. Gibson, the receiver right. Walker Moore, the tight end, set right. Dragons with that 3-man defensive front, eye in the backfield. Toss to Evans again now.
Reverse pass.
Here's a reverse pass. Gibson's going to throw toward the end zone, and it is
picked off.
It was batted in the air and intercepted by the Dragons
in the end zone.
And it's a touchback as the Dragon defense forces its second turnover of the game. And
that was Aiden
it was
Ewers
with the
who
tip.
tipped it. I'll get that name right sooner or later.
And Bryant Nunnally has the interception. So Bryant Nunnally's interception will get the ball back for the Dragons, so they turn it over on downs at their own 25-yard line, but then 2 plays later, Nunnally picks off a trick play. As Gibson tried to throw it into the end zone, it was tipped and intercepted, and so the Dragons now with 4:07 to go in the first half taking over again, leading 21-0.
Yeah, I'm not never been a fan of non-quarterback guys throwing a foot. Now, he may be a backup quarterback, I don't know, but they tend to want to throw it maybe when something's not there.
Roth throws, screen pass out to the right, ball's caught, and heading down the sideline is Blake Austin. And carries for about 4 yards on the quick pass to the right. So it'll be second down. And 6.
Walker Moore on the tackle.
Just a little timing pass right there.
Brings up second down.
Lets your offense get into a little bit of a rhythm.
Yep, 1 or 2 step drop and fire.
So 2nd and 6 for the Dragons after the 4-yard pass to Austin. Roth will toss, this time on a sweep. Thomas looking to get the corner. He's not going to get there. He's dropped back at the 25-yard line.
Thomas on the carry.
John LaPrade brought him down. They'll give Thomas a couple of yards to the 26.
He's got to be a little bit more patient, let his blocker set him up for him. His blocker was out there, had a man set up, but he kept faking back and forth, and in the process, he didn't take advantage of his blocker because he was moving as well, trying to stay with the guy he was blocking.
3rd down and 4 for New Palestine. High snap, Roth on play action. Sets his feet, throws over the middle.
There
Ewers
you
makes
go.
the catch. He's got the first down at the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 22 on the pass to Aiden Ewers right over the middle. Gibson with the tackle for Yorktown, but not until a 22-yard gain and a first down.
He is making his presence felt in the passing game tonight. That's nice.
That's his 3rd catch for 77 yards. And the Dragons move the chains. They'll have first down, 3:15 to go in the half. New Palestine with a 3-touchdown lead. By the way, Yorktown will get the ball to start the second half as the Dragons receive the opening kickoff. 4-receiver spread on first down. We'll send a man in motion. That's Ewers across the formation to set up trips to the left. Roth, high snap, back to throw. Looking deep over the middle. Has Blake Austin.
Yes.
He's got it. Touchdown, Blake Austin, as he catches it on the 15-yard line. Had an ankle beat. And he carries it in the last 15 yards for a touchdown. 52 yards on the pass from Lincoln Roth to Blake Austin, and the Dragons lead at 27-0.
That was one pretty pass by Lincoln Roth right there. He waited till Blake got inside position, beat his defender, and was able to hit him in stride perfectly for the touchdown.
That is Lincoln's 2nd touchdown pass of the game, his 3rd of the season. Tanksley on to attempt the extra point. The Dragons have done it with big plays. They had 1 sustained drive early, but it's been big plays otherwise. 46-yard pass to Ewers. Now a 52-yard pass to Austin and a pick 6 from Hunter Burks. And the Dragons now lead at 28-0 over the Yorktown Tigers. 2:46 to go in the opening half of play. We'll take a break, come back right after this. This is NewPalRadio.com, presented by All Star Turf Management.
With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
This is Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
Lincoln Roth to Blake Austin from 52 yards out. Gives the Dragons a 28-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. Along with Mike Jackson, I am Andrew Smith. And again, it's big plays, which has always been a hallmark of Coach Kyle Ralph's teams. And they have shown again here. That drive, a 22-yard pass to Ewers and then the 52-yarder to Austin. And Lincoln Roth has had himself a pretty nice game so far.
Yeah, but he only threw it like 3 times last week, right?
Completed 3, yeah. And
so it's nice to see him come out and get settled and hit some big ones.
Darren Johnson's kickoff will be fielded by Gibson at the 14-yard line. Takes it right up the hash marks and loses his footing at the 27. So a 13-yard return for Alex Gibson. Looks like Bryant Nunnally was one of the guys in on the tackles for New Palestine. So Yorktown is 2:41 to work with, 1 timeout and a 28-point deficit. We'll take over at their own 28-yard line. Quarterback Blair Webster is 2 for 7. He's been picked off once, and Gibson also tried to pass and was picked off as well. It's 2 pick sixes for the Dragons this season. It was both non-quarterbacks, or 2 interceptions this season on passes from non-quarterbacks of the 4 they've had this season. To give up the middle to Evans carry for a yard.
Takes the ball to the 29-yard line.
Maybe 2, as they're going to give him progress to the 30. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 for Yorktown. Yeah, we'll put it at the 29, so make it 2nd down and 9. Evans now 54 yards on 14 carries. The final 2:15 of the first half. Yorktown not in much of a hurry. They send Hook to the left, receiver right is Gibson. Again, eye in the backfield. And they give to the second man through, and that's Jalen Thomas. And he got drilled.
Zach Carter
and make that Zach Carter who had the carry.
Picks up a yard.
So it's a 5'6" senior.
Yeah, Evans wasn't on the field that play.
So
he's over here on the bench.
So it'll be 3rd down after the 2-yard gain. 3rd down and 7 for Yorktown from their own 31-yard line. And Coach Kyle Ralph's going to use his timeouts trying to get the football back. We'll keep it here. 28-0, New Palestine in the lead. As the Tigers will be facing 3rd down and 8. And one thing, Yorktown came into this game with a really solid running game. J.J. Evans, when they've been able to get him in the open field, has been good, but they've struggled to get him into the open field thanks to some really good pursuit by the Dragon defense.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, overall, obviously defending him, but seems like they are able to also just kind of pound at the middle of the Dragons defense as well. And were successful on that big drive that before they ran out of gas down here on about the 20 or 15-yard line. They couldn't convert that 4th down. They went away from him a little bit. And I don't know whether he's dinged up or what, but he wasn't in on. He's not in now as well. You'd think they'd want that kid in on trying to get a big play. That's a guy that could make it happen. That's for sure.
They'll be facing 3rd down. Wonder if there's maybe a little bit of dinged up.
Speaking of dinged up a little bit, we got a longtime listener, Mike Young. His daughter Danielle came through some major surgery recently. Best wishes out to her and her family. Get well soon. We're thinking about you.
And so it will be 3rd down as we come out of the timeout. Dragons showing blitz as Yorktown has the ball in its own 31, 3rd and 7. Webster back to throw. Pop-up pass picked off. Aiden Ewers down the sideline. Inside the 20, inside the 15, 5 touchdown. Pick 6 for Aiden Ewers. Offensive and a defensive score in the same game. It's 34-0.
Well, it's easy to see why this kid was All-State last year. He read that perfectly, undercut the throw, went and caught the ball at the highest point, like you're taught as a defensive back, and finished the deal. Good speed on the outside.
Second pick 6 of the game for the Dragons. Aiden Ewers had a 46-yard touchdown reception earlier, now adds the 40-yard interception return, and it's now 34-0. And there's a case, too. You got a young quarterback against a really good defense. And the Dragons have taken advantage of a couple of underthrown passes. So Tanksley on to attempt the extra point. Blake Austin is the holder. Austin White is the long snapper. And the kick is a line drive, and it is good. So Tanksley 5 for 5 on the PATs. And with 1:44 to go in the opening half of play, the New Palestine Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 35-0. Our D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care halftime show will be coming up in a bit, but we still have 104 seconds of football to go. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
Get a Grip is where to go for the serious fisherman. We are the home of the original Golden Rule measuring board, which we manufacture right here in Hancock County. Get a Grip also offers weigh-in bags, reel handlers, mountain sleeves, and other fishing accessories. We pride ourselves in providing some of the finest bump boards and weigh-in bags, all sourced and made in the USA. Get a Grip serves the pros, and we can serve you too. Get a Grip is also the proud sponsor of the New Palestine High School Bassmasters fishing team. Visit GatorGrip.com to see our product line. That's GatorGrip.com.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Along with Mike Jackson, I'm Andrew Smith. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. The Tigers will start their next possession at their own 29-yard line. Their last one was thwarted by a pick six. Aiden Ewers picking a pass off at the 40-yard line and taking it the rest of the way. The second interception return for a touchdown from New Palestine in this game has opened up a 35-0 lead. Webster gives on the draw play to Stinson, the fullback, and he is stacked up by the middle of the Dragon defense.
Stinson on the carry.
Short gain on the play. Timeout is called by New Palestine, I believe. And Coach Ralph, again, trying to get that football back.
Touchdown, timeout.
You know he's got a lot of things he wants to work on.
Yeah, and that's it. You know, obviously it's a 35-0 game. There's one thing we've said before is a couple of things. He plays the first half straight up, always, even when the score is a little bit lopsided. But the other thing is that we've lost a game already this year in terms of games to play. We weren't able to play week one. So as a result, you've only got 8 chances in the regular season to work on the 2-minute drill going into halftime. So here's a pretty good opportunity to do that if you can get the football back. And one thing that has been the case and was the case again last week against Brebeuf, they're pretty effective in the 2-minute drill.
Yep. Thing about it is they keep their mistakes to a minimum. Everybody knows their job. They do a great job of staying focused on what they're supposed to get done, and they get the plays in quick, get to the line and get moving, and are very effective.
A couple other scores in the HHC. Halftime, Newcastle leads Pendleton Heights 7-0. Late in the second quarter, Delta all over Shelbyville 48-0. Mount Vernon and Greenfield Central will play tomorrow night. And that'll be Greenfield Central's season opener. Of course, for the Dragons next week at Mount Vernon, 7 o'clock kickoff. As the annual Battle for the Boundary Rail kicks off again. 7 o'clock next Friday at Mount Vernon. Radio only next week for us on NewPalRadio.com. Mike and I will have the call. Pre-game starting at 6. Yorktown facing second down and 8 as we come out of the timeout. Webster will give to Evans. Looks for a hole, doesn't find it, and he's stacked up. And again, takes several Dragons to bring him down. But he's dropped at the 30-yard line. That's a 1-yard loss. And Nick Bastian and Richard Clevenger were in on the tackle, and
Timeout, New Pal.
again, the Dragons take a timeout, and again, some of the Yorktown fans getting a little bit restless because they see the scoreboard, but again, this is a live game situation where you get a chance to work on your 2-minute drill if you can get the ball back, and that's essentially what Coach Ralph and the Dragons are doing here, is using these Friday night opportunities to get practice, especially given the fact that you've lost so much practice time.
Well, and then, yeah, they lost so much time, obviously, because of the, the issues with the COVID and all that stuff. So, I mean, like Greenfield, they lost 2 solid weeks of practice.
Yeah.
So, coming into a game like that tomorrow, Mount Vernon's been on fire. I'm sure they're going to struggle.
So, it's 3rd down and 8 for Yorktown coming out of the timeout. 1:27 to go. That was the Dragons' last timeout, by the way. So, they cannot stop the clock. Yorktown can stop it one more time. It'll be 3rd and 8 after Evans was stopped for no gain on the play. And I think we're just waiting for the timeout to expire. Both teams are ready to get back to play. And the ball has been put in play, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. Eye in the backfield. Webster with Stinson and Evans behind him. And he fakes the toss, gives to Gibson on a reverse. He's dropped for a loss.
David de Guzman.
De Guzman flying in to bring Alex Gibson for a loss back at the 26-yard line. That's a 5-yard loss on the play for Gibson.
And Nick Bastian was there as well.
That'll bring up 4th down from the 26. Yorktown will use up its Yorktown will use as much time as they can. Took a long time for the 40-second play clock to get started. Walker Moore is in to punt.
Walker Moore back to punt.
And Baylor Hurst is the deep man now for the Dragons. So Moore will allow the play clock to run as far down as he can before getting off the punt. His 2 so far, he's averaging 54 yards a punt. Good snap. He gets off a sidewinder that will go out of bounds around the 50-yard line. And we'll see where the linesman walks it off. They'll say it's at the 47. So it's a 27-yard punt. So the Dragons will have 19 seconds, no timeouts, and 53 yards to work with, and a 35-point lead. This is New Palestine's best field position of the night. They have 35 points, 21 of them on offense, and they've done so with some long fields. And a 94-yard touchdown drive and an 80-yard touchdown drive in this game. Twin backs on either side of Roth, and now Austin will line up as a slot to the left. So 4 receivers now in the formation. Yorktown shows blitz. Here comes LaPrade. He drops Roth for a sack back at the 42-yard line. John LaPrade came in unblocked, a late blitzer. That's the second time Roth has been sacked in this game, and that will probably do it for the first half. And that's the case. The clock expires on the first half. The New Palestine Dragons, though, a fruitful one as the defense produces a pair of scores and the passing game produces a pair of big play touchdowns. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers at halftime. We are going to take a break. When we come back, the D&D Strictly Storage and Best Insight Family Eye Care halftime show will commence. And with that, Mike and I will recap the first half. We'll give you the stats, let you know what else is going on in the HHC and around the state of Indiana as well. Here at halftime, the Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 35-0. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community in Dragon football. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
At Real Life Church, we've done everything we can to create a place people love so they can experience a loving God. That means we do everything with you in mind. Whether it's our weekend services, our kids and student ministry, or small groups, we really have been expecting you. We've been praying for you, and we're excited about the opportunity to go on a spiritual journey with you. We hope that you'll take your next step and join us this weekend at Real Life Church. There's always room for you.
Now, back to the action on NewPalRadio.com.
All right, great job, ladies.
Halftime at Yorktown High School, along with Mike Jackson. I'm Andrew Smith. The Dragons with a 35-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers in a matchup of top 10 teams. New Palestine ranked number 2 in Class 5A. Yorktown number 8 in Class 3A. The Tigers 2-0 for the 7th time in 8 years. But they found themselves so far in the wrong end of a 35-0 score. Good start for the Dragons. They took the opening kickoff and went 60 yards in 5 plays. Grayson Thomas, an 8-yard touchdown run, made it 7-0 at 10:14 of the first quarter. And then on the next possession, the Dragons went 94 yards in 10 plays. Aiden Ewers, a 46-yard touchdown pass from Lincoln Roth, made it 14-0 with 3:08 to go in the first quarter. That's how he stood after one. Early in the second, just 12 seconds in, Hunter Burks picks off a pass, takes it 45 yards for a score. At 11:48, that made it 21-0. And then, after an interception in the end zone by Bryant Nunnally, the Dragons go 80 yards, and it finishes with a 52-yard pass from Lincoln Roth to Blake Austin. That was set up by a 22-yard pass to Aiden Ewers. And then Ewers, a 40-yard interception return with 1:45 to go in the half. The Dragons with 2 touchdowns in a minute and 2 seconds to take a 35-0 lead. Offensively, the Dragons with 74 yards rushing on 18 carries. They're led by Grayson Thomas, who has 59 on 8 carries. Lincoln Roth has 1 yard on 7 carries, and Blake Austin has 3 carries for 14 yards. Throwing the football, Roth is 7 for 9 for 161 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's completed 3 passes to Aiden Ewers for 77 yards. He has completed 3 passes as well to Blake Austin for 62 and 1 to Andrew Tashane for 22 yards. For Yorktown, they have 52 yards rushing on 20 carries. They are led by J.J. Evans, who has 54 on 15. And 3 other backs have combined for -2 yards on 5 combined carries. Throwing the football, the Tigers are 2 out of 9. They've been picked off 3 times for 24 yards. And so Yorktown with 29 plays for 76 yards of total offense and 3 turnovers. The starting quarterback, Blair Webster, is 2 of 8, been picked off twice, and they also have had an interception thrown by Alex Gibson on a trick play. So 76 yards for Yorktown. For New Palestine, 233 yards on 27 plays in this first half. New Palestine with 6 first downs, Yorktown with 5. The Dragons have been penalized once for 15 yards. The Tigers 3 times for 15 yards. There have been 3 turnovers, all by Yorktown, all interceptions. So, Mike, I think if you're a Dragon fan, there's a lot to like from that first half, especially number one, they've done a good job of keeping J.J. Evans contained. He is a very good running back. Yorktown, one of the best coached teams in this conference, and especially when it comes to line play. They've got an outstanding offensive line, a little small on the ends, but big in the interior. and they're always just very well coached up front. And so a good job of keeping J.J. Evans kind of limited, not letting him get loose, and then taking your opportunities when you've had them by forcing them to throw and then making plays in the passing game.
Yeah, that's probably really been the difference. They by the Dragons getting the big lead on them, they've had to come out of that game a little bit and start throwing the ball around, and that's where they've gotten in trouble. And it's good to see that Dragons secondary, who coming in was pretty young. Obviously, Aiden Ewers is the exception to that rule, but and he's made his presence felt both there offensively and defensively. But so the secondary's done a better job, I think, in this game so far. And I don't think the Yorktown quarterback maybe is as talented as the kid was last week, but it's nice that I see these kids closing on the football when the ball's up in the air, high pointing the ball, getting their picks, getting the tips, doing the job, being around the football when they're supposed to be. And the pass rush has been decent at times, but maybe not as effective as it was last week so far, which is a little bit surprising. But they've had to honor that run game as well. So obviously the Dragons scoring defensively helps that offense out a lot. And the Dragons are just right now they are rolling. The one issue I'd say so far would be probably the potential injury to Shane.
Yeah.
And which is I don't think we saw him come back on the field after he walked off under his own power. He walked well going off the field, but so he got nicked up probably a little bit, and coaches decided when he got a game like this, there's no reason to risk him getting hurt any worse.
So, and that's certainly the case. That's probably the one real, probably the one
downer the
downer
first half.
In the first half, and what was a very good first half for New Palestine. Again, offense, defense, and special teams combined to make plays, and as a result, it's a 35-0 lead. We're going to take our next break on the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care halftime show, and when we come back, we'll meet with the principal of New Palestine High School, Jim Voles. He'll be joining us right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
This is Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com.
And we're back at halftime here at Yorktown High School.
PorkVet Solutions is the best
hold on a
veterinary
second here.
choice for your.
We'll get to them just in a bit. We're here at halftime along with the principal at New Palestine High School, Jim Voles, joining us here. And back in your old stomping grounds, you're a Muncie Burris grad, right? And so,
it's great to be here. What an awesome night for football, and we look great tonight. But I played on this field in 8th grade. 8th grade junior high. I went to one of the Muncie junior highs here, and I actually played in the band, trombone, and we marched on the field, and then I marched with my uniform on, so this area is familiar for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to describe what the first month or so you've been the principal at Doe Creek Middle School / New Palestine Junior High for a number of years.
20 years.
You came over to the high school as, and I know Keith Fessler is watching or listening, and certainly
what a great principal and a great person.
And certainly Keith, we are always thinking about you, and you're in our prayers as well. But what has the first month been like, especially in this just very unusual school year of taking on a new building and kind of getting used to being a high school principal?
Well, I know how to be a principal. I'm just getting to know high school. The great thing is I know all the students. All they have masks on, and they've been incredible. And the staff has really welcomed me, which has been great. With the masks and all the COVID situations, not expecting for us to still be in school, and we are, which I think is awesome. I love the fact that we're in school. And so far, so good.
And you mentioned that. What a great job the New Palestine student body. Of course, we're in the building every day. The student body is bought in. And just kind of describe the pride you have in the student body to really to buy in and do what they need to do to ensure that we can have school, we can have sports, we can have extracurricular activities, and do the things that make high school, both during the day and after school, such a great experience.
Yeah, I'll have to say, I lost sleep probably most of the summer, and especially the week leading up to the beginning of the school year. How was that going to work with our student body, having masks on all day? And then if they go out for an athletic event, having masks on when they weren't actually participating, coaches with the masks on, and it has been phenomenal. Our kids have come through. I shouldn't say this surprised me because we have such a phenomenal community and kids, but they're buying into what we need them to do for this to work. And you can tell our students want to be at school. They want to be there, along with our teachers.
Yeah.
I can tell our teachers are always just saying, I am so glad we are here and in the classroom with the students.
What has been maybe the biggest surprise for you in the first month of the school year?
Well, the biggest surprise is how big the school is.
Yeah.
Honestly, to get all the way to one corner of the English wing and then get over to your classroom, over towards the science wing, towards a new construction. It's spread out. It's just a lot bigger than I'm used to, and we got twice the amount of students and twice the amount of staff. So just getting to know everybody is just something I'm working really hard to do.
New construction, obviously. The high school is going through a significant renovation project, and you're out there an awful lot. Tell us what's going on and kind of the exciting things that are coming down the road at New Palestine High School.
Well, and it's behind the building, so a lot of people don't see it, but phase one of the project is actually just a couple months from being done, and that is the field house, which is going to have 3 basketball courts, the new weight room, and they're doing some refurbishing of the wrestling room, new parking lots. And I don't know if people have not seen the softball field, it's got to be one of the best softball fields in the state. It is phenomenal. And that's phase one, and that sounds like a lot of athletics. But then the second phase is going to be the new classrooms, the new entryway, new office area. So, yeah, it's really going to be something I think people are really proud of.
And when we talk about that new field house, yes, there's going to be 3 basketball courts, but the main reason why that is being built is so that we can put classrooms in there while we're renovating and rebuilding the other parts of the building. And that's kind of an exciting thing of really being purposeful with the taxpayers' money to not just build something that, say, is going to be temporary that we're going to tear down, but something that can be used again and again and fill a need for our growing community and our growing school.
Right, and that's going to happen. It looks like on the timeline, maybe about Thanksgiving break, we're going to move 19 teachers, and they're going to have kind of some, I want to say, makeshift classrooms. They're going to have walls and all the technology and everything that teachers need and students.
It's not completely open concept.
Not completely open concept. Now, they're not going to have any ceilings. So, you might hear, if you've got a loud teacher, you might hear a little bit of that. But it is going to work well that they can just keep going on the construction during the school year, and teachers can still teach, and it's not going to be a huge disruption.
And go ahead.
No, I say it's exciting, and I think once I start seeing the demolition of some of the areas and put the classrooms in, it's going to be really exciting.
And you've experienced this at the junior high, moving from what was the old Doe Creek building to what's now the intermediate school, back into a very renovated, essentially remodeled building, and how nice that was to come back into what is now the New Palestine Junior High building.
And to be a part of that building project and to see that from beginning to end, And to see that school went from an empty building for 7 or 8 years into a 21st century school with all the bells and whistles, it's really, really nice. So it makes me excited to see what this is going to be for the high school.
Because it's essentially the same thing. We're going to see what had been kind of a mishmash that had been built in stages, some of which date back to the early 1950s, now being transformed into a modern school that's going to serve our students well for many, many years to come.
And the other exciting thing is that there is going to be some new areas built, but they're going to touch every part of the school and repaint everything, and new flooring and new lighting. And so every area of the building is going to, like you said, be connected and something we can be proud of.
Well, Jim Voles, principal of New Palestine High School, thank you for joining us here at halftime.
Yeah, what a great first half, and what a great night for football. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Beautiful evening, and you got to like the way the Dragons are playing so far.
Yes, yeah, I'm super excited. Don't want to jump the gun, but I'm already thinking about the Mount Vernon game next week. Beat Mount Vernon.
We got two quarters of football to go, but that boundary rail game is always in the back of our minds.
I'm already thinking about it. I know. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Jim Voles, principal of New Palestine High School, at halftime here on newpalradio.com. We're going to take our final break at halftime. When we come back, Mike will rejoin me, and we'll get ready for second half action. The Dragons lead the Yorktown Tigers 35-0. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com.
Pork Vet Solutions is the best veterinary choice for your swine operation. Our two doctors, Matt Ackerman and Dylan Lape, can help you position your pork production system for the 21st century. We provide veterinary and consulting services, herd visits, preventive medicine, and more. Pork Vet Solutions is licensed and accredited in 8 states. Reach us online at porkvet.com or call 623-5132. That's porkvet.com or 623-5132. Pork Vet Solutions, literally saving your bacon each and every day.
Catch the Shot Photography is your hometown photographer. Locally owned by Brenda Adams Turk and David Turk, Catch the Shot is dedicated to providing quality photos of your family, seniors, sports, and special events. We offer custom designed products including sponsor banners, photo collages, senior banners, and much more. We look forward to catching the shots with you. Contact Catch the Shot Photography at 317-620-1240 or catchtheshot.com.
This is Dragon Football on newpalradio.com.
Just about time for second half action to begin at Yorktown High School. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. Second half action getting set to begin. We'll be running clock for the second half. Of course, the IHSA's new rule that when the lead gets 35 or greater at any point after halftime, that we'll have a running clock for the remainder of the game. But a solid first half, I think. You know, one thing Coach Ralph has said is this team right now is probably about the beginning of August in a normal year because they lost so much of the summer, and so is everybody else in the state. But you can kind of tell there's some things that they certainly would like to iron out, certainly before the game next week against the Marauders. But this first half was a lot better than the two halves of football last week. Defense has been opportunistic. They've done a good job of keying on Evans and keeping him contained. And the offense has made some big plays, especially in the passing game, which was a phase that really struggled last week.
I think Coach wanted to focus on that, make sure that the team north of us in Hancock County has a little bit more to worry about next week. And I believe they've done that. They came out right away on that first drive, unlike last week, and moved the football, moved down the field and scored their first two drives. So I'm sure he wants more consistency from that offensive group, obviously. Had to get Lincoln Roth settled down a little bit in the passing game. He was airmailing a few balls early on. And once he settled down and he was able to, find Mr. Ewers a time or two, as well as Mr. Austin. And they connected and looked very good. But he struggled a little bit with his, seems like his throws to the right side have been a little difficult at times for some reason. But and I had a couple of bad snaps, so I got that ironed out. I had to deal with a couple of high snaps and had to pull the ball down and run or avoid a sack. But overall, I think, of course, coach would have probably 15 or 20 things wrong with that first half, where we might have seen 2.
Yeah.
But overall, a really good half for the Dragons.
Jack Johnson will kick off to begin the second half. It is fielded by Gibson. He brings it right up the middle. He's hit pretty hard across the 26-yard line. And so that's where Yorktown will begin its next possession.
Hunter Burks making his presence felt on special teams.
Hunter didn't play last week due to an injury, and he has been pretty impressive. Has a pick 6 in this game. So Tigers will begin in the second half at their own 26-yard line. Quarterback Blair Webster was 2 of 8 in the first half. He's back to throw on first down. Steps up, throws deep down the right sideline into double coverage, going up and making a really nice catch.
Heck of a catch right there.
Is Walker Moore in Dragon territory at the 49-yard line. That's a 25-yard gain and a really nice catch by Walker Moore in double coverage. Walker Moore is one of those guys, he's been at Yorktown seemingly for a long time, but he is just a heck of a football player, and he showed that there. He lines up as a receiver left. Here's a toss to Evans. Sweep to the left. Tries to get the corner. Gets past 1. Breaks a tackle at the 45. And is brought down by Richard Clevenger at the 44 in New Palestine. It's a gain of 5 for Evans. We'll bring up second down and 5 for Yorktown.
Now you see Noah Mack come over to the official, showing the official. I was being a little bit mugged on
His
that
jersey
particular
was
play.
Twisted around a little bit.
And he might have had a beat on him early in the backfield, but he was held up by an interior lineman.
Yorktown will line up twins to the right, eye in the backfield, tight end set left on second down and 5. And here's a fumble, and the ball is loose. The Dragons say they have it. They do. A botched exchange. They were trying to hand it off to Stinson.
David DeGuzman, I think. Yep.
The linebacker, David DeGuzman, picks it up at the 49-yard line, the 4th Yorktown turnover of the game, and the Dragons take over at the 49. So that just looked like just a missed exchange, as they were trying to hand it off to Stinson, the fullback, and it just didn't get there. And David DeGuzman saw it and fell on top of it. So we've got 9:20 to go, clock rolling in the third quarter. Dragons with a 35-0 lead. And Lincoln Roth has Ewers lining up as a slot to the left. Twins to the right with Austin, the outside receiver. Ian Raudebush is the slot. Empty backfield for Roth. And now we'll give the jet sweep to Thomas. Turns upfield, carries to the 45-yard line as he was tripped up just as he was beginning to head up the field. It's a gain of 4 for Grayson Thomas. It'll be second down.
I'm sure Coach would like to get him going really good here in the second half. We'll get this running clock and let him get some more work back there.
Chew up the rest of the game. Thomas is 63 yards on 9 carries. A lot of those came on the opening drive of the game. He lines up to Roth's right on second down. Lincoln back to throw. And he's flushed out of the pocket. He will run across the 45. Stiff arms a man and is dragged down right at the 40. John LaPrade brings him down a yard short of the first down. It's a 5-yard gain. And we'll bring up third down and 1.
Now they faked the bubble screen to the right. He was really looking to his left and had to bring the ball down in a hurry because of pressure, but was able to pick up nice yardage on the run.
Yorktown had really good penetration there, but Roth was able to break the contain. They've got an H-back and twin set to the right, receiver left on 3rd and 1. Thomas, the running back, set to Roth's right. Lincoln will toss to Thomas, cuts upfield. There's nothing there. Robbie Hook was just waiting on him in the backfield. And Migday Gibson was just waiting on him. And he is brought down for a loss back to the 43. It's a 3-yard loss. Will bring up 4th down and 4 for the Dragons.
3-yard loss brings up 4th down for the Dragons.
And the Dragons are going to go for it here on 4th and long, and the Yorktown crowd doesn't really appreciate what we're trying to do. But
trips left, receiver right is Austin. It's 4th and 3. Roth looks left, throws. It's batted in the air, picked off. That's the second time Roth has been picked off this season. And Alex Gibson with the interception. And so Yorktown will take over after the turnover at their own 44-yard line. So the interception by Gibson gives Yorktown the football back. It's 35-0 New Palestine. That's the Dragons' first turnover of the game. Second time Roth has been picked off this year. The Dragons have taken it away 4 times. Yorktown with an eye in the backfield. Walker Moore, the receiver to the left. And new quarterback of the game throws over the middle and going up and making a really nice catch is Carter Lovelace at the 45-yard line. No. The ball was jarred free as he landed on the turf. And the officials are not too, or the crowd is not too thrilled with the officials as they.
Yeah, it came out of his hands well before he hit the ground.
So Lovelace looked like he went up and made a nice catch, but as he was hitting the ground, the ball came free. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. And so new quarterback for Yorktown is a freshman, Mason Moulton, 6'3", 192-pounder. He'll line up with an eye in the backfield on 2nd down and 10. Moulton back to throw.
Screen, boys.
Sets up a screen, and it's caught by Evans, and he's tripped up for a short gain on the play to the 46-yard line.
Moulton's pass complete to number 42, J.J.
I did a better job of reading that screen this time.
Ian Raudebush coming up and making the tackle. A 3-yard gain will bring up 3rd down and 7.
I think that was Matt Brown who read the screen and was able to get back and help out on the tackle, but he wasn't biting on that easy penetration there and the drop by the quarterback, the deep drop by the quarterback.
3rd down and 7 for Yorktown from its own 47-yard line. Moulton back to throw. Here comes the blitz. Throws nearly picked off.
Matt Brown again.
By Brown. As Brown, the defensive lineman, saw it coming, reached out and nearly grabbed it. And it went in and out of his hands, fell to the turf. It'll be 4th down and 7.
Yeah, he's kind of a mountain to try to throw over. He knocked the 4th down pass down there on about the 15 or 20-yard line earlier.
Brown, 6'3", 238-pound senior, committed to the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, baby.
One of 2 Dragons that'll play for Air Force next year. Ethan Sturgeon will be joining him out in Colorado Springs.
That is so cool.
Get a great education, opportunity to be an officer. And there's a nice punt by Walker Moore. A high punt takes a big Yorktown roll inside the 20 down to the 17. 36-yard punt for Moore, no return. 4:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. And New Palestine will take over at its own 18-yard line.
By Adam Morrow, Dragons take over on offense.
And so New Palestine, again, the Dragons have not had great field position in this game. They've started drives on their own 6, their own 16, their own 20 twice, and now their own 18-yard line. 3:40 to go, 35-0 Dragons. We're in the 3rd quarter, running clock. All of the scoring took place in the first half. Roth with trips to the right on 1st down. And he will hand off to Grayson Thomas, who spun down for a very short gain on the play of a yard. And so
we're not doing a really good job of blocking on the edges.
Taken down quickly by number 88, Walker Moore.
The Dragons ran the ball very well last week. They've kind of struggled to get, other than the first drive, kind of struggled to get untracked in the running game tonight. The much of the offense since the first drive been big passing plays. Lincoln Roth has thrown it for 161 yards. He has trips to the right here. We'll set up a bubble screen. Thomas makes the catch, turns upfield, gets an alley across the 30. He's got the 1st down. It's Blake Austin, not Grayson Thomas, on the bubble screen. So
tell you what, once he catches and gets vertical, he gets there in a hurry.
Yeah, he does. And
got to get that kid the ball a little bit. No doubt about it, he's an athlete.
Austin has very good speed. That's his 4th catch for 74 yards in this game.
Where's he going to play?
He is not committed yet.
Oh, I thought he's got offers, though.
He has offers.
He does have offers.
Yes. Four receiver spread on 1st and 10 for the Dragons from their own 32. Roth rolling out to the left, looking downfield, throws, ball's caught by Ewers, and he's blown up at the 37-yard line. A nice open field tackle over on the far side by John LaPrade. But it's a 5-yard gain as Ewers did a good job of hanging on to that one.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
It's 2nd down.
That was just kind of a short pitch and catch between him and Roth, but about as soon as he turned around, he had a face full of green jersey.
4 catches for Ewers for 81 yards. He has a touchdown in this game. 2nd down and 6 for the Dragons from their own 37. Trips to the right. Thomas in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. He breaks through a tackle. Flags come down, though, at the point of attack. This is likely coming back on a holding violation. And that is the case. This is the 2nd penalty against the Dragons. And where the flag is, that's way in the backfield. And this could be a big penalty.
Not a very good job about one of our outside offensive players.
It's going to be a 14-yard penalty on New Palestine because it's from the spot of the foul. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 19 as the Dragons will be pushed all the way back to the 23.
Yeah, he had a guy crossing his face, and his only reaction was to just turn and grab as the defender was going to bust up the play. And you never want to see a result like this, though. It's just drive killers.
Final 40 seconds of the 3rd quarter, 35-0 Dragons. Twin backs of the backfield on 2nd down and 19. Now we'll send Austin in motion as a slot to the left. Roth, play action, fake, steps up, throws over the middle, has a receiver, and it's a little bit too tall for him. Blake Austin, the intended receiver.
Well, he got knocked down by the Yorktown free safety, it looked like.
Yeah, it was Alex Gibson who got a hand on that.
Otherwise, I think Blake Austin might have been off to the races again.
Gibson's a really solid football player. He's a senior. They use him in a lot of different roles, and there he was able to knock the ball free.
Yeah, Blake had his man beat to the inside, just running up that seam on the left side. And the free safety read it well and came up and knocked the ball down.
The 3rd quarter is complete. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 lead over the Yorktown Tigers. We'll take a break, come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community and Dragon Athletics. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
4th quarter action beginning at Yorktown High School. The New Palestine Dragons will be facing 3rd down and 19 from their own 23-yard line. Leading 35-0. All the scoring in the first half. Grayson Thomas, an 8-yard touchdown run. Lincoln Roth passes a 46 to Ewers and 52 to Austin, and then a pair of pick sixes by Hunter Burks and Aiden Ewers have the 35-0 score. 3rd and 19 to begin the 4th quarter for the Dragons. Roth back to throw, rolls out. He has to get away from pressure. He's not going to. He's sacked for the 3rd time in the game. And Jackson New, the sophomore, comes in on the sack. And the Dragons go backwards, and there's a player down. It's Lincoln Roth, and he's getting up a little gimpy.
Not what you want to see this week, or any week for that matter. But.
So Roth will head to the sidelines. The punt team will come on for the 2nd time in this game. Matthew Brown got off a 32-yarder his first time, and Lincoln Roth is heading to the sideline, and Coach Ralph is having a conversation with the man in the white hat. So Roth walked to the sideline under his own power. He, remember, kind of suffered an ankle injury in the state finals last year. But was able to head to the sideline under his own power. Snap to Brown is good. He gets off a nice high punt. It will land short of the 50, take a New Palestine roll across the 50-yard line and be downed at the 46. So that's a punt of 35 yards for Brown. 11:15 to go, fourth quarter. Dragons with a 35-0 lead over Yorktown. Next week, the Dragons take on Mount Vernon. The Marauders are idle tonight. They will play Greenfield Central tomorrow. Elsewhere in the conference, Newcastle leads Pendleton Heights 7-0 after 3. The last score we had, Delta, was all over Shelbyville, 48-0. That was heading into halftime, and that game is likely gone final or pretty close to it. It was 48-0 last score we had. First down, Yorktown, and Moulton will fake on play action, roll out under pressure, throw off his back foot, picked off.
There we go.
Flag comes down behind the play.
Is that to Guzman, maybe?
And it is intercepted by
Raudebush.
Baylor Hurst, or that's Ian Raudebush with the football. Yeah, it's 5, not 6. And the flag is illegal man downfield, so that'll be an interception for the Dragons' Ian Raudebush. 5th turnover forced by New Palestine in this game. And so the Dragons take over at the Yorktown 49-yard line after the interception by Raudebush. It's 5 turnovers. Really got to like what you're seeing out of the Red Rage. And now Coach Ralph is going to use a timeout. So first timeout of the second half used by the Dragons. 9:46 to go. In the third quarter, or in the fourth quarter, the Dragons with a 35-0 lead over Yorktown. You're listening to Dragon Football on NewPowerRadio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
With a former Dragon star in Bloomington, all eyes should be on the Hoosiers football program this year. HoosierHuddle.com is a free and independent site that has covered the football team since 2013. They provide roster analysis, player profiles, interviews, game previews, wrap-ups, and more. You can follow them on Twitter at Hoosier_Huddle or visit HoosierHuddle.com to keep up with your in-state favorites.
You're listening to The Dragons on NewPalRadio.com.
Coach.
We are back at Yorktown High School. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 lead in the football, along with Mike Jackson and Andrew Smith. Ian Raudebush's interception gives the Dragons possession at the 49-yard line of Yorktown. 5th takeaway of the game, 8th of the season in 2 games for New Palestine.
Yep, new quarterback for the Dragons.
And the ball's on the turf, picked up by said new quarterback. He's just wiggling around and gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and not much
Damon
further.
Hockett.
So Damon Hockett in a quarterback.
That's why the Dragons took the timeout, was to make sure that they had this new offense ready to go.
So Damon Hockett is the quarterback.
I think Spiegel is running
David
back.
Spiegel is the running back. Also, Ian
Fabian
Fabian is in at one of the receiving positions. Slot to the right is Gus Walling.
And A.J. Williams is the wide out to the left.
So second down and 10 for the Dragons after Damon Hockett was able to scramble it back to the line of scrimmage. Hockett, long count, will give to the running back David Spiegel, and he'll carry for a yard or 2 to the 47-yard line.
Spiegel on the carry.
And it'll be third down and
with the tackle.
3rd and 9 for the Dragons as they put him down at the 48-yard line of Yorktown. Make that the 47. Let's call it 3rd and 8. 8:20 to go, fourth quarter. Dragons with the second unit out there. A 35-0 lead they have.
Looks like Austin Corey's at the center position.
Damon Hockett has Spiegel set to his left on 3rd and 8. Yorktown showing blitz.
Ooh.
They nearly jumped, but were able to hold back. John LaPrade, very good outside linebacker. Looks like he's creeping in again. Long count for Hockett. He'll take it himself and be dropped in the backfield. He had absolutely no chance on that. There are 4 green jerseys waiting on him.
Yeah.
LaPrade and Walker Moore, the 2 guys bringing him down for a 2-yard loss. And it'll be 4th down for the Dragons and likely punting time again.
Yeah, he's basically untouched. Spiegel just got to him way too late.
So 4th down, New Palestine's Matthew Brown in to punt. This is the first of a 3-game road swing for the Dragons. They'll be at Mount Vernon next week, Pendleton Heights in 2 weeks. We, of course, will have the call on both of those games. Radio only on newpalradio.com each of the next 2 nights, or next 2 weeks, I should say, before we return home on September 25th to face Greenfield Central. The second of 3 home games this year. Brown gets off a high, short punt. It'll bounce down, take a Yorktown roll at the 22-yard line. It's a 27-yard punt for Brown. No return, 6:43 to go in the 4th quarter. The Dragons' lead remains 35-0 as it has been since the late stages of the first half. Grayson Thomas, an 8-yard touchdown run. Aiden Ewers, a 46-yard touchdown reception and a 40-yard pick six. Hunter Burks, a 45-yard pick six, and Blake Austin, a 52-yard touchdown catch from Lincoln Roth. The Dragons scoring. 14 in the first, 21 in the second, and nothing for either team in the third. Now we got a whistle and a timeout called by New Palestine. As Coach Ralph, I think, again, trying to make sure he's got the right personnel on the field, as again, you got the second unit out there. So they'll take a timeout. We will too. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com, presented by All-Star Turf Management.
All-Star Turf Management is the best choice for the lawn you really want. Our superior lawn care services, including fertilizer, weed control, aerations, mowing, and more, are designed to improve and maintain your property season after season. Our combination of using the highest quality chemical products applied by educated, licensed professionals is what your property needs to become a place we both will be proud of. With flexible scheduling and service programs, we have a package that's right for your lawn and your budget. Locally owned and operated by Nathan Johnson, All-Star Turf Management is proud to support the New Palestine community in Dragon football. To learn more or for a free estimate, call All-Star Turf Management at 861-1234 or visit myallstarlawn.com. That's 861-1234 or myallstarlawn.com for All-Star Turf Management.
Now, back to the action on newpalradio.com.
We are back at Yorktown High School. The Tigers are stopped for a short gain on first down as Zach Carter, the senior, carries for a yard. So it'll be second down and 9 for Yorktown. Moulton back to throw. He's going to throw deep down the left sideline, and we have an incomplete pass, but there's flags all over the place.
Moulton's pass incomplete to Alex Gibson.
Alex Gibson was the intended receiver, and he got tangled up with a defensive back over on the far side. And so that'll be the second pass interference call against the Dragons in this game, and will give the Tigers a first down. The Dragons now been flagged 3 times for 44 yards.
Pass interference on the Dragons.
So that'll move the ball out from the 24 where it was, out to the 39. Actually, it was on the 23, so put it on the 38-yard line after they step off the penalty. The clock continues to roll. We're inside the final 4.5 minutes of the game. The Dragons are going to see out to a 35-0.
Puts the ball on the
Currently the
38-yard
lead.
line where the chains move. That's good for a Yorktown.
Yorktown's 7th first down of the game. Moulton, the quarterback, has an eye in the backfield. And he drops back to throw. Over the middle, ball's caught by the big tight end Walker Moore at the 45-yard line. That's a gain of 7 or 8.
He's got nice soft hands for a big guy.
He does.
Just
Just a good football player.
Brought it right in, extended his hands, caught the ball away from his body, tucked it away. But that catch he made over on the sideline earlier was huge.
Moore's second catch of the game was that one. That was for 7 yards. Here's another throw out to the far side into Dragon territory at the 49. Catch is made by Joey Hazen. And that'll move the chains as it carries to the 49-yard line.
Where the chains move. That's good for a Yorktown.
Gain of 6. It's 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the Dragons 49. Clock continues to roll. We're down to 3:17 remaining in the football game. Eye in the backfield. Moulton on play action. Rolls out under pressure. Throws, and it's tipped and almost picked off. That was nearly the 6th interception for New Palestine.
It's A.J. Ryerson.
Bryant Nunnally looked like he was diving in on that football, but unable to reel it in. 2nd down and 10 for Yorktown from the Dragons 49. Next week, it's the Marauders. 7 o'clock kickoff from Mount Vernon Stadium. We'll have the broadcast at 6 on newpalradio.com next week. Radio only. Eye in the backfield for Yorktown on 2nd and 10.
Screen pass,
setting
boys.
up a screen, and it's incomplete. The Dragons had that one well covered and really fouled up the timing. Jack Stinson was the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down. Actually, Stinson caught it. He was laying on the ground. He caught it on the ground. Probably wishes he wouldn't have because they lost 2 yards on the play.
Yep.
So it looked like the ball was heading into the turf, but Stinson caught it while lying on the ground. So 3rd down and 12 now for Yorktown. Moulton again back to throw. Has good protection. Steps up, throws deep into triple coverage, and it's picked off.
No, it's dropped.
It was incomplete.
Yep.
And
it was Baylor Hurst.
Baylor Hurst was on it, but just unable to reel it in. So the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
Baylor Hurst breaks it up.
Baylor was in perfect position to reel it in, but just unable to do so. So 1.5 minutes to go in this one. 4th down and 12 for Yorktown. If they do not convert, this will probably be their final offensive play, as we would anticipate the Dragons would kneel it out. Eye in the backfield on 4th and 12. Moulton gets his running backs settled, and he'll fake on play action. Roll out to the left. Has some time. Throws downfield, and it is caught, but it's well short of the 1st down. Going down at the 43-yard line is Joey Hazen.
To number 86, Joey Hazen.
It's a gain of 6, but they needed a lot more than that. So
6, short of the 1st down.
It's going to be
takes over on offense.
1st down Dragons at their own 43, and they will just need to snap the ball one time to see out a 35-0 victory. And Damon Hockett's just going to line up in the victory formation. It appears they have not started the 25-second play clock yet. The Dragons don't need to snap the ball. And so I don't think they will, as the clock is inside 10 seconds. And that'll do it. The New Palestine Dragons move to 2-0 on the year as they knock off the Yorktown Tigers tonight, 35-0 over the Yorktown Tigers. The Dragons score all of their points in the 1st half as Lincoln Roth throws it for 161 yards in the 1st half and 179 in the game tonight. As the Dragons win it 35-0 over Yorktown. The Red Rage forces 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions, en route to the victory. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the D&D Strictly Storage Best Insight Family Eye Care postgame show will commence. Mike and I will recap the game. We'll give you the final stats, and also we will have Coach Kyle Ralph's comments on this 35-0 victory over the Yorktown Tigers. We're going to take a break. Come back right after this. You're listening to Dragon Football on newpalradio.com, presented by All Star Turf Management.
D&D Strictly Storage in New Palestine is your home for storage needs. D&D Strictly Storage offers a wide variety of storage sizes from 5 by 10 feet up to 10 by 30 feet. They also offer indoor and outdoor parking for your boats and RVs. Locally owned and operated by Don and Maria Blackwell, D&D Strictly Storage is who to call for your storage solution. They're located on County Road 400 West, just north of the railroad tracks in New Palestine. Call them at 861-9231. Again, that's 861-9231 for D&D Strictly Storage. Mention this ad and get your second month free with any rental.
Best in Sight Eye Care has been the leader of quality vision and eyewear in New Palestine for more than 20 years. Our experienced doctors, Tim Huffman, Mark Habig, and Colin Clairbout, use the most advanced state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. At Best in Sight Eye Care, you will find professionals who are dedicated to providing exceptional personal service to everyone who walks through the door. We are conveniently located on Arbor Lane in New Palestine. Just follow US 52 west of Mount Comfort Road. To schedule your appointment, visit bestinsighteyecare.com or call 861-4100. Give your vision the level of care it deserves. Mention this ad for 10% off your glasses purchase.
This is Dragon Football on newpalradio.com.
Welcome back to Yorktown High School. The Dragons knock off the Yorktown Tigers 35-0 tonight. It's time for the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care postgame show. Let's run down the scoring summary. All the scoring came in the first half. The Dragons took the opening kickoff, went 60 yards in 5 plays. Grayson Thomas finished it off with a 8-yard touchdown run. That made it 7-0. Thomas had the big run on that drive of 32 yards. On the next possession, after taking over at their own 6, the Dragons went 94 yards in 10 plays. Aiden Ewers, a 46-yard touchdown reception from Lincoln Roth at 3:08 of the first quarter, made it 14-0. That coming after a 22-yard pass to Andrew Tashane kept the drive alive. Early in the second, Hunter Burks, a 45-yard interception return, made it 21-0 at 11:48 of the second quarter. And then with 2:46 to go in the second quarter, after, again, a 22-yard pass to Aiden Ewers, Lincoln Roth hit Blake Austin from 52 yards out to make it 28-0. And then just a minute and 2 seconds later, Ewers, a 40-yard interception return, made it 35-0. Brendan Tanksley with all 5 extra points. The Dragons tonight, just 6 first downs in this contest. And hold on a second, I miscounted a couple. 7 first downs, as they had one in the second half that I had not written down. 7 first downs in the contest. Throwing the football, Lincoln Roth in this game was 9 of 13 for 180 yards. And the Dragons ran it for 85, so 265 yards of total offense for New Palestine. Rushing the football, Grayson Thomas had 62 yards on 11 carries and a score. Lincoln Roth had 2 yards on 9 carries. Also, David Spiegel had a carry for 2. Blake Austin had 3 carries for 14. And Damon Hockett had 2 carries for -2 yards. So the Dragons rushing the football, 26 carries for 85 yards. Throwing the ball, they had 13 snaps. It's just 39 offensive plays for the Dragons. And 180 yards. Yeah, 265. But, yeah, you score twice on defense, that tends to happen. Yorktown had 7 first downs in this game. They were led by J.J. Evans, who had 59 yards on 16 carries. And their rushing output was pretty much the J.J. Evans show, as they ended up with 56 total yards. The rest of the team combined for -3 yards on 7 carries. So 23 carries for 56 yards. Throwing the football, they were 8 of 20. They were picked off 4 times for 67 yards, so just 123 yards of total offense on 43 plays for Yorktown. Breaking it down, the starting quarterback, Blair Webster, was 2 for 10. He was picked off 3 times for 49 yards. Make that 2 for 9. And Also, Alex Gibson was 0 for 1. He was picked off once. And then Moulton came in, and he was 4 out of 9. Make that 4 out of 10 for 18 yards. He was picked off once as well. Walker Moore had 2 catches for 32 yards. Joey Hazen had a pair of catches for 12. Gibson 1 for 9. Evans 1 for 3. Also, Carter Lovelace 1 for 15. And Jack Stinson 1 for -2. Tigers were penalized 3 times for 15 yards. The Dragons 3 for 44. 5 turnovers for Yorktown, 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery. The Dragons turned it over once on an interception. So New Palestine right now 8 takeaways and 2 giveaways, +6 in the turnover ratio. And 2 pick sixes tonight. That's 3 for the season. And when you add to what they did last year, that is 4 consecutive games going back to the semi-state against Bloomington South last year. Actually 5 going back to the regional against Cathedral last year, where the Dragons have had a defensive score, an interception taken back for a touchdown. And
I'd take 2 next week.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good.
That's a pretty good stretch right there.
Aiden Ewers, the
maybe star of the game,
receiving touchdown and a defensive score. And the last time a player recorded an offensive and a defensive score in the same game was Adam Kincaid against Richmond back in 2016, when he had a pick 6 and a long touchdown reception. And this is also the first time since the 2016 game against Greenfield Central the Dragons have scored twice defensively in the same game. Adam Kincaid had a pair of fumble returns in that one. So that's going back in time a little bit as the Dragons are able to win it tonight 35-0. Coach Kyle Ralph down on the field, and he looks like he may be finished with his media obligations and coming up to join us on the post game. And at least he's making his way toward the sidelines, but it's kind of a circuitous path to get here. So we will await his arrival. Other scores in the conference tonight: Delta knocks off Shelbyville 68-0, and I've not seen a score on Newcastle Pendleton Heights yet. That was a 7-0 game, Newcastle leading going into the 4th quarter. And we'll see here if we can get a updated score on that one, as Newcastle Pendleton Heights, of course the Dragons will be at Pendleton in 2 weeks. Next week's opponent, Mount Vernon, is idle tonight. Now Newcastle Pendleton Heights 7-7 now midway through the 4th quarter. Mount Vernon will play tomorrow night against Greenfield Central. And so we await the coach's arrival, and he's kind of working his way around the stands to get to us. The New Palestine Dragons with a 35-0 victory at Yorktown tonight. And next week's a big one, Mike, as the Marauders will be hosting the Dragons, and obviously they would love nothing more than to stop what is now a 65-game winning streak and a 49-game conference winning streak, 30 games now overall. But they'd love nothing more than to snap that. They will certainly be loaded for bear next week. But the Dragons, that's the one game that you know is going to be the game that you really kind of build for. And
absolutely.
Also a good early season test. This is probably the best team they've had since that team Doug Armstrong had 8 years ago with Burnett and Dix, that kind of ran roughshod through the conference and made it to the regional. And so it's going to be a good matchup next week.
Yeah, they've got Greenfield yet tomorrow, so we'll see how they come out of that. But, I mean, I would say Greenfield's obviously at probably a major disadvantage because haven't been able to play a game yet. Yeah. So it'll be rough for them, I'm sure, tomorrow. But maybe the extra day of rest will help the Dragons come next week as they play tomorrow. So, but so far they've been pretty impressive in racking up points against their first 2 opponents. And in the past they haven't played anybody real tough, but I think this year they've played a couple of better football teams. But so we'll see what transpires. And then that new coaching staff up there had them working their tails off all off season. And as you could see, the tweets that their coach was putting out regarding what his players were doing, and kind of competing with Coach Ralph, I think, on tweets about his football team.
Yeah, and that's really trying to rebuild a program, is what Greenfield Central's attempting to do, and really kind of build it from the ground up. And they're, Coach Nolting, a big wishbone guy. They've got a system. They're trying to implement it and make some things happen. So So it's a 35-0 victory for the Dragons tonight in the D&D Strictly Storage Best in Sight Family Eye Care post-game show. We'll be joined momentarily by the head coach of the Dragons, Kyle Ralph. He's making his way to the press box here at Yorktown. And so good start for the Dragons. Defense, obviously,
wins championships.
Yeah, and didn't allow a point tonight and scored 14. And when your defense scores more points than it gives up, that's usually a good night. So
just concerned about the
yeah,
couple of injuries or dinks that we got tonight, so hopefully nothing major.
Yeah, so the head coach of the Dragons, Kyle Ralph, joining us here on the D&D Strictly Storage and Best in Sight Family Eye Care postgame show. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on another win. You're 2-0 now on the season, and tonight was really the night for the Red Rage to step up. Not only did you keep a very good running back and a good offense bottled up and not really allowing Evans to get going, but your defense puts 2 scores on the board. And anytime you score more than you give up on that side of the ball, it's a good night.
Yeah, thankfully our defense played really well tonight because our offense did not. Matter of fact, our defense almost outscored the offense, which in previous years would be absolutely incredible. We really did not put our defense in some great spots tonight. It was just our inability to move the football consistently. And, when you're going to crowd the box like they did, you're going to have to hit some of those passes like we did. You got to convert those things. But we're lacking offensive consistency right now, and thankfully our defense is still got a lot of – again, I think they played a nice night tonight, but it's amazing how many mistakes we still made on defense tonight, which tells you how much better we could potentially be over there. We caused – 3 or 4 turnovers, and we probably had 3 more in our hands, and we could have had 7 turnovers created right there, and we had a series where we couldn't get our linebackers to fit the gaps at all, and they kept moving the ball. We just fell asleep for a series, but when you look at some of those things, and if we just execute how much better our defense could really be, they're going to have to keep carrying us right now. We've always been built on defense. Our offense gets a lot of headlines, but really our defense has been the crown jewel of the program for a long time, long before I've been here, and they're playing some pretty good football right now, and I'm very happy overall with their level of production and truthfully their intensity as well.
In an unusual season like this where you've really lost much of your offseason, is it going to be pretty typical that the defense is going to be ahead of the offense for really not just you but most programs around the state right now?
Yeah, you would think so. Obviously defense truthfully just breaks down to play your gap and then go tackle the guy that has the ball under his arm. It's not rocket science. So, I think the one thing defensively, too, that we're getting a lot better at as we play and we practice is, last week against Brebeuf, they hit us on a couple of trick plays. We also made them pay on a couple of trick plays. Tonight, Yorktown brought some things out that they had not shown. They had a couple of really nice cross-action boots that they were throwbacks and tried to hit us with a couple screens that we defended really well. And, some of those things that, you can really struggle with defensively that are assignment-based early in a season like this without a lot of practice. I was really glad to see our kids play those things really tough tonight. Offensively, though, we obviously are still struggling to gel right now. And, again, I think that's what you're going to see in some of the seasons like this, like you said, is with the limited amount of practice time, the limited amount of time that we get in the summer to work on stuff and see and experience things, we're going to struggle some. It's not an excuse. It's true. I played the sport. Offense usually lags behind defense at the start of the year, but truthfully, we have enough talent on offense to be way better than we are right now. We are not playing to our potential, and that's where I'm really frustrated at.
When you're kind of struggling to make things happen consistently, it's always good to be able to hit a big play, especially when a team's packing the box like Yorktown was tonight. It has a really good front seven as they do. Tonight, you were able to hit a deep ball to Austin. Aiden Ewers had a couple of really nice catches, including the one for the touchdown. And how important is it to have those two game breakers like those two that can make plays for you in the vertical passing game to loosen up a defense?
Well, we had it early. The hard part, we lost AT early on there. We don't know how long he's going to be out for, but obviously didn't come back in the game. And really, he's been such a critical piece to the offense and defensive package. So you're down players this week from quarantine and from all the stuff that you can't control. You come out, and right out of the gate, you lose technically one of your most valuable players for all the things that he does for us. I mean, really, right out of the bat in the first quarter there, one of your best players goes down. You start shuffling pieces around, and pieces aren't prepared, and that's our fault as coaches. And things were breaking down up front, things were breaking down the perimeter, and it's like, holy cow, we're trying to keep our head above water. But, again, you go to the playmakers. We got a couple things set up through our early offense that we felt like we had the ability to take advantage of. We got the one down there deep to Aiden Ewers, whatever that was, the 35 or so yard line. We hit that one that we'd set up through some of the running game stuff. And then the one for Blake, we just kept moving their safety over further and further and further with our formations and some of the plays. Got him the spot where we wanted him at, and then came back with a one-man route to Blake for a huge touchdown. So, those are the things that we're able to do. But I certainly would like to be getting yards as we're setting those things up, not struggling to convert first downs and then praying that we can hit the shot that we call. Again, that's the frustrating piece. We're more talented than that. We're more we have a lot more ability than that, and right now we are not performing at that level. But we certainly do have some playmakers that we can get the football to, and that's with AT out, who is, again, one of our most explosive kids. We lose him, but it was great to see Blake and Aiden both step up and have a really nice game tonight and get some big explosive plays on their own, and hopefully people will loosen the box up some now, but I doubt it.
Well, now you enjoy the win tonight, but basically once you get off the bus, it's Fortville week.
Yeah, I told the kids down there, I was very honest, we're not playing like a very hungry team right now. For whatever reason it is, we just don't have an edge to us, and it almost feels like a little bit of we're a little bit entitled and a little bit enabled right now, honestly, and that's my fault. It feels like we just expect to win because we're New Pal and we showed up to the game, and that's not how other schools approach us. We are everybody's Super Bowl right now. Everybody wants to be the team to end the streaks and to take the helmet away. Next week, obviously, the rail is into play. We're taking everybody's best shot with their highest level of intensity they have to give, and quite frankly, we're not matching that, and that's my fault, and it needs to be fixed here, within the next 7 days, or we're going to start losing things that we care a lot about in this program. And I spoke to the kids on that, and hopefully message is well received.
Well, enjoy the win tonight, and enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. You too.
It's New Palestine head football coach Kyle Ralph after tonight's 35-0 victory over the Yorktown Tigers. That'll do it for us tonight. For Mike Jackson, I'm Andrew Smith, saying good night and God bless you. So everybody, our final score again, the New Palestine Dragons 35 and the Yorktown Tigers 0.
Thank you for listening to Dragon Football on NewPalRadio.com. Tonight's game was brought to you by All-Star Turf Management, D&D Strictly Storage, Best in Sight Family Eye Care, PorkVet Solutions, Real Life Church, Catch the Shot Photography, Gator Grip, and the Hoosier Huddle. Thanks for listening. Keep logging on to NewPalRadio.com for more exciting Dragon action.